Roman Reigns and Jey Uso get revenge on Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed at WWE SummerSlam 2025. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we've got some truly surprising and heartwarming news from the WWE Universe. It was the ultimate redemption arc. A summer of pain, betrayal, and power struggles, all leading to a collision course at WWE SummerSlam 2025. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, the tribal chief and his One Bloodline brother, stood across from two of WWE's most dangerous forces, Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. And what happened next shocked the entire WWE Universe. This is the full story of how Roman Reigns and Jey Uso got revenge and sent a message the entire locker room will never forget. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso get revenge on Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed, WWE SummerSlam 2025. To understand the epic moment at SummerSlam 2025, we have to go back months before, when the foundation of Roman Reigns' empire cracked. The fall began on an episode of Monday Night Raw in June. Roman Reigns had just returned from a brief hiatus following Paul Heyman's betrayal and Solo Sikoa's rise. But nothing prepared him for what was coming next. Bron Breakker, the wrecking machine from NXT and now fully entrenched on Raw, attacked Roman Reigns in the middle of a promo. But he didn't come alone. Bronson Reed, the Australian juggernaut, joined him. Together, they double-teamed Roman and left him broken in the ring. The message was clear: the island of relevancy was under siege. Backstage, chaos ensued. Jey Uso, who had just reconciled with Roman weeks prior, looked torn. He was caught between being his own man and standing by the family that made him. But the following week, he made his choice. When Bron and Bronson tried to do the same thing again, Jey Uso made the save. He super-kicked Bronson Reed out of the ring and speared Breakker through a table. The war had officially begun. What made this feud so volatile wasn't just the violence. It was the personalities involved. Bron Breakker, the second-generation powerhouse, had enough of waiting in line. He didn't care about traditions, hierarchies, or the so-called bloodline. He believed WWE was his for the taking, and he was determined to take it by force. Bronson Reed, meanwhile, was tired of being overlooked. Time and time again, he was passed up for main events, titles, and respect. With Breakker, he found a kindred spirit, someone just as explosive and just as ruthless. Together, they wreaked havoc. They interrupted matches. They attacked Roman and Jey backstage. They even smashed Roman's rental car on live TV. For weeks, it was chaos. Roman Reigns, once untouchable, was slipping. The tribal pride that carried him through years of dominance had now become a burden. Without Paul Heyman, without Solo Sikoa, and with the bloodline in ruins, Roman struggled to keep his grip on power. He showed up late to Raw. He stormed out of meetings. He even lashed out at Cody Rhodes during a backstage segment. The WWE Universe saw it all. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, on the verge of collapse. But in one of the most emotional SmackDown segments of the year, Jey Uso pulled Roman aside. He said, "You're still my chief. You're still family. But we don't run from wars. We finish them." And just like that, Roman Reigns snapped out of it. The match was made official. SummerSlam 2025, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. During the contract signing on the final SmackDown before SummerSlam, the four men sat at opposite ends of the ring. Roman, dressed in a white bloodline hoodie. Breakker, pacing like a caged animal. Jey bouncing in place, ready to fight. And Bronson, smiling coldly with confidence. The tension was unreal. Breakker signed first, then Reed. Jey slapped the pen into Roman's hand, and the tribal chief slowly, methodically, signed the contract. But just before they could finish the segment, Breakker shoved the table forward, and all hell broke loose. Steel chairs, super kicks, spears. The crowd roared as Roman hit a Superman punch on Bronson Reed, followed by Jey nailing Breakker with a top rope USO splash. They stood tall as the show went off the air. Momentum had shifted. The night had finally arrived. SummerSlam 2025, Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas. The match was scheduled midway through the card, but the anticipation made it feel like the main event. First, Bronson Reed's music hit. Boos rained down as he stomped toward the ring. Then Breaker's sirens wailed, and the crowd erupted in a mix of fear and anger. Then the lights dimmed. Head of the table hit. Roman Reigns emerged, flanked by Jey Uso, both in custom white gear, symbolizing purity and vengeance. They entered the ring, eyes locked on their enemies. The bell rang. It began. This wasn't just a wrestling match. It was war. Jey started against Bronson. Quick strikes, agility, and a loud crowd behind him. But Reed was a tank. He shut down Jey with one massive Samoan drop and dragged him into enemy territory. Tag to Breaker. Explosive suplex. Tag back to Reed. Splash from the top. Jey was isolated, but at the 10-minute mark, he broke free. Tag to Roman Reigns. And the crowd came alive. Roman hit a leaping clothesline on Breaker. Superman punch to Reed. Then a double spear on both. But Breaker recovered. Spear of his own. Near fall. Crowd gasped. 20 minutes in, all four men were down. Then came the moment. Breaker and Reed tried to finish Jey with a double powerbomb, but Roman shoved Reed into the steel steps. Jey reversed into a sunset flip. Tag to Roman. Spear on Breaker. 1-2 kick out. The crowd couldn't believe it. Then Jey climbed the top rope. Roman lifted Breaker. Samoan spike spear combo. Tag to Jey. USO splash. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso had done it. They didn't just win. They reclaimed their pride. They reclaimed the bloodline's honor. Roman raised Jey's hand. The crowd chanted, UCSO. UCSO. Meanwhile, Reed rolled out of the ring, holding his ribs. Breaker sat stunned, shocked that his brutality wasn't enough. But Roman leaned over the ropes, pointed at him, and shouted, You're not ready. Not yet. The crowd roared. Backstage, Triple H was seen smiling. The tribal stories weren't over. They were just entering a new chapter. The message from Roman and Jey was clear. You don't mess with the bloodline, even if it's fractured. Bron Breaker learned the hard way. Bronson Reed may never forget the pain. But more importantly, the WWE Universe saw a new side of Roman Reigns. No longer invincible, but still dangerous. No longer isolated, but now backed by blood again. SummerSlam 2025 will forever be remembered as the night vengeance fueled the bloodline. What comes next? Will Roman Reigns seek a new title? Will Jey Uso finally step into the solo spotlight? And will Breaker and Reed get another shot? One thing's for sure. The war for dominance in WWE is far from over. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more epic WWE storytelling, fantasy bookings, and storyline breakdowns. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso get revenge on Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. WWE SummerSlam 2025. To understand the epic moment at SummerSlam 2025, we have to go back months before, when the foundation of Roman Reigns' empire cracked. The fall began on an episode of Monday Night Raw in June. Roman Reigns had just returned from a brief hiatus following Paul Heyman's betrayal and Solo Sikoa's rise. But nothing prepared him for what was coming next. Thanks for watching, folks.